Blog Talk Radio.
The Girl George and the Dragon Radio Show. This is Girl
Yes.
George. Today we
Yes.
have a pagan priest for you. How about that? This being almost the first day of spring, why don't you tell us all about paganism and spring and all that kind of stuff? This is Prince Charles. Hi, Prince Charles. How you doing?
Hello. How's it going? How's it going? Well, spring is represents new beginnings and new things happening. It's the most initiatory time of the year. It is the time of the year where things can happen and things connect. Basically, when the sun moves into the first degree of Aries, that's when it's the perfect time to initiate new things and new ideas and new plans and new things coming in. And this is a very good time of year for it because Mercury, the planet Mercury, just went out of retrograde and went out of gray just about a week ago. And it just makes this spring a brand new, new things can happen and connect. So any new ideas or any new situations or things that you want to do, now is time to start it. This is the best time of the year, and it's kind of my birthday because my birthday is on March the 12th, which is right before. So it's the most exciting time of year when the sun starts coming out, the flowers start blooming. It's like a rebirth. Symbolically, winter is like the death phase. Everything dies and then is reborn, and that's the whole theory of reincarnation, which is embraced by paganism itself, is that every year we have that reincarnation act, the death of the winter when the sun moves to its most desolate part and December 25th, and then 3 days later, bam, it brings in, the sun starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger again and rising and moving back into the main part of the year. But this is the time when the sun finally, the days become just as long as the nights. The sun is right on the equator right now, so the days are just as long as the nights now, and this is the new beginnings when the flowers start blooming. So that's what it means. It's a perfect time to start new projects, new situations. It's awesome. It's my favorite time of year.
And paganism has nothing to do with devil worship or anything. It's just a natural earth, right?
Natural. It's a earth. It's a nature belief. Devil worship or Satanism, that is something totally different. That's all comes from Christianity. And in reality, Satan is a word that means adversary. If you look it up in the Jewish dictionary and the ancient dictionary and Revelations, it's just a word. It just means adversary. There's no really such thing as the devil. They decided to make the devil a physical reality at the Council of Constantinople. The year 300, the Roman Catholic Church decided to make the devil an actual real deity, which devil doesn't have, or Satan or whatever, is really not, all it means is a word. It's a word that means adversary. So it's really confusing that even in, the Old Testament itself, the devil is considered a word. It's not even a really reality thing or a deity or anything. Like I said, the Roman Catholic Church decided to make the devil a deity in the year 300 at the Council of Nicaea at Constantinople. So that was all made up by the Catholic Church.
That's just to keep people in line,
that.
right? So that if they don't do what they're told, they go to hell, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. It's like the Church decided, the Christians before that point, the year 300, were all Gnostics. They all believed in reincarnation. But the Church got scared because they thought, well, if everybody figures out that they're reincarnating, what are they going to need with the Church anymore? They won't need the Church. So they decided to make these laws and make Christ immortal and the devil immortal and all these things. And look, if you don't go through us, you're going to go to hell. But if you can come through us, and you go to heaven. The only way to heaven is to come through the Church, and that's what made the Church powerful over the Dark Ages, when they decided to start, burning anybody that didn't believe in what they believed in, until finally, even us, me and you, Girl George, all people today are kind of brainwashed from square one to believe these things that the church has been forcing on us for 2,000 years. So it's kind of like, it's very fascinating. It's very fascinating, but no, I don't believe in the devil or anything like that, and I don't worship the devil. That's
okay, Stonehenge,
you know,
what is that all about? How did Stonehenge
Well,
get there?
Stonehenge was, actually, I'm an initiated Druid, and I was initiated into Druidism in Northern California in the Bay Area, but Stonehenge was actually a site, a ritual site in ancient Druidism. And in fact, at each stone, they say that there's a Druid priest buried under each stone, and it has to do with the astrological solstice, equinox, spring, fall, and summer solstice. And in the same way, the days are split into noon, midnight, sun up, sundown. So is the whole year split up in the same way in solstice, equinox, solstice, equinox. And these stones mark the sun coming up at these times of the year. And this is how they do their rituals, and this is how they knew when to plant and when to plant the food and when to do everything. Everything revolved around it. It's like a giant solar calendar, but it's also used as a ritual site. And there was a big, massive celebration there on the spring equinox just a few days ago that was just really awesome. I have some pictures of it on my Facebook. It's amazing, and they're still doing it there. They're still doing the same thing, Druids and pagans of all sorts. And
the Native Americans were a lot the same kind of thing too, weren't they?
Oh, totally. Oh, yeah, they worship the four corners in the same way. And you can worship the four corners in the day, and you can even do rituals. Like I could do a ritual right now where I greet the four corners, which would be earth, water, air, and fire. And the Native Americans did the same thing. They greet the four corners, earth, water, air, and fire. And where the sun's coming up, that's air. That's the new beginnings in the east. Where the sun's going down, that's the water element. The sun at midnight is earth. The sun at noon, the sun straight up above us, that's fire, earth, water, air, fire. So if I was to do a ritual in my temple here, I have a temple, I could greet the four corners and I would do what I call the pentagram ritual, which is a ritual that kind of balances everything out before I would do yoga or meditation or any kind of ritual or exercise or anything like that. I do a lot of meditation, yoga, and a lot of that's involved too. I also teach yoga. I do pranayama, asana, and teach different methods of yoga that I've been doing yoga for 20 years, and a lot of people say, my God, I mean, I'm 53 years old, and people look at me and they go, my God, you look so young. How can you be 53 years old? I'm like, well, I've been doing yoga for 20 years, you know, and but anyway, that helps.
I'm
really
a Scorpio.
Good for you.
What can you tell me about Scorpios?
Well, Scorpio is the most powerful sign in the zodiac. Scorpios is the most successful sign in the zodiac. So, Scorpios are very successful, very important. Scorpio rules Mars. And Scorpios are very exact and precise in what they do. They're very sure about themselves. They have much confidence, and they have a lot of luck in whatever they do. And in that reason, you'll notice that most surgeons, doctors, and stuff like that, even surgeons are Scorpios because they're so successful.
Most of the presidents of the United States were Scorpio more than any other sign.
Really, that's fascinating. I didn't even really study that, but that is fascinating. I do believe that because Scorpios tend to be very confident, very good at what they do, very precise, very right on the move, right on, and it's a very strong sign also. Scorpios tend to be not afraid of blood, and that's why they make such good surgeons. They're some of the best surgeons are Scorpios. I've been in and out of the hospital quite a bit in my life, and you know, every time they come to take my blood or whatever, or they take a surgeon, oh, they're just so precise. I'm like, you're a Scorpio, aren't you? Almost every time they are, just because I know that Scorpios are good in this field and they know what they're doing, and very talented. It's a water sign. I'm also a Pisces, water signs tend to click, Pisces, Scorpios.
Sort of like mystics, aren't they?
Yeah, we're a little more mystical. We're a little more moody. Us Pisces are a little more, I would say, have a lot of feelings. We're very psychic. The most psychic sign in the zodiac is Pisces, and that's what I do on the side. I'm a card reader. I'm a psychic. And Pisces, we have more feelings than any other card. Like, I go into the dentist, and I'm like, oh, it hurts. Oh, I can't. We can actually have so much feelings. And being that we have all these feelings, we have very strong intuition because our emotions are very strong. All our intuition comes from our emotions. So Scorpios, Pisces have a lot of emotion. We're very emotional, and that's what makes us so psychic. We feel feelings. We feel other people's energies. Like, I know you, Prince George. Girl George. I know you, so I can kind of feel you on the other end of the line. I know you. I've seen you at open mics, and we've done shows together and stuff like this, and so I can kind of feel your energy right, on the other line. And that's what Pisces are. We can feel other people's energies, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, and in that way, we kind of a lot of times feel like, oh, this person's upset or let down. We feel they're hurt. We want to help. We want to help others, so we make good, counselors and stuff like that. So
now, you besides being a priest, you're also a guitar player. You used to be a drummer in a punk band, right?
Yes, I played drums in punk bands. I played in a scat of punk bands in the 80s. I played in probably 30 or 40 punk bands in the 80s. At the end of the 80s, I wound up in a heavy metal band. I toured Europe. I did a couple of records. Hell's Kitchen. It was a heavy metal band from the Bay Area. We did a record, we did a couple of records, and we toured Europe twice at the end of the 80s and early 90s. I started playing solo music and acoustic guitar again more, maybe about 15 years ago, and started playing more stuff like that. And when I was in Austin, Texas, because I'm from Austin, Texas, and that's the live music capital of the world, I've been playing music all my life. And once I was in Austin, I used to play at South by Southwest, which was recently. And I was playing some of my songs at a pizza place there. I was just acoustic. I was just playing my acoustic songs. And Capitol Records came up. They were there because it was South by Southwest and all these record companies. And they were like, oh, God, we love your songs. Can we come film you tomorrow? I gave them an interview and everything, but I forgot to give them my last name, Charles. So when they printed it out in the paper and all that, they put Prince Charles. So that's how I got my name, Prince Charles, from a newspaper article where they decided to just put Prince ahead of my name. The reason they did that, because there was this more famous person than me called the King. He called himself the King, and his interview was before my interview in the Austin Chronicle. So it had the King, and then I was the second person that was interviewed in the paper, and they called me Prince Charles. So I was like, okay, my name's Prince Charles. So from then on, I figured that now that it's documented in the paper, I can legally call myself a prince. So Prince Charles is my solo name, and I keep that name, and that's the name I play under. It seems like I'm doing really good here on the East Coast. I've been playing a lot of shows. I've been actually getting shows here. Where are you at now? I'm in Pittsburgh right now. Pittsburgh is a really good spot because I'm right in the middle of everything. I got D.C., I got New York, I got Boston. I got all these cities around me, so it's a great place to be centraled in and tour. And, since I've been in Pittsburgh, there's the most awesome open mics here. It's a brand new music scene. It's kind of like Austin was back in the 80s before it was so big. Pittsburgh is really growing, and the art scene is really being promoted here because the industries all fell to pieces here years ago. So they've cleaned up the town here, and there's just a lot of art and music all over the town. It's really an awesome place. I'm really enjoying it here. I'll probably be here for another year. Then I'll be back in the Bay Area. And I'm just kind of promoting my thing here on the East Coast a bit, And,
did you used to have a painted-up bus that you toured in? Do you still have that?
A painted-up bus?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we had one. When I was in the band, you might remember it. I was in the band Wingnut Breakfast,
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah, I was in a band called Wingnut Breakfast in the Bay Area for a while. We played around a lot, Alexa, and we did travel around a bit in this painted-up bus. We did. It wasn't actually our bus.
I seen it out from Missouri, and I thought, oh, how cool.
Yeah. So we did. Yeah, we did travel around one of those painted-up buses around. That was an awesome band that I played for, Wingnut Breakfast. I still do some of those songs. Those were actually Prince Charles songs, and I played as Prince Charles for Wingnut Breakfast. But a couple of those people had to leave the band, so I just kept my name, and I'm still playing those songs. I've recorded some new songs, and now I'm writing new songs to record another album. I have a record coming out. I just got the test CD in the mail here. The music came out awesome. I just got to touch up some things on the cover. I'm going to send out for another test CD, and if that one comes out fine, I'm going to order some CDs, and I'll have a new CD out. It's called Starseed, Prince Charles the Starseed.
Okay, well, it's nice talking to you again, Sophie. What have you been doing?
Oh, well, I've been doing a lot. I actually have been doing some work on a new book that I'm working on. I'm actually working on a brand new music book for youngsters that's going to be coming out sometime in August, because it's going to take me a while to put it together. And I've also been listening in on the show, which I wanted to point out that the Earth, Fire, Air, and Water was actually Aristotle's discovery. So I was going to point that out once he gets a chance to call back. I thought that was really, really cool he brought that up. Among other things, I had a great month with outlaw country music on GPR. And I got Waylon Jennings' grandson, Ray Jennings, on my show, and there's going to be plenty more that are going to be calling in. So I'm excited,
Waylon was a friend of mine. I used to know him back in the day. Facebook, we can find you as Samuel Charles. How do you pronounce the last name?
You can find me as Samuel Charles Salmon on Facebook.
That's SALMON.
SAMUEL Charles Salmon. SALMON. Like the fish.
So we
like
can find you on Facebook and other places under that name too, right?
If you can find me on Facebook, I'll friend you, and I will send you my Prince Charles page. Now, my Prince Charles page has a lot of my stuff, and it also has my songs on the page. But in the same way, Facebook doesn't let you bring up the Prince Charles page, because that's the problem I have with Prince Charles. They don't want to let anyone else be Prince Charles except for the Prince in England. So that's the problem we're running into. So you almost
have to go by
to
Prince Albert.
I know. Well, see, I don't have any documents of me being Prince Albert, but I have a document from Austin, Texas. How about Prince
Charles Albert? Add another name in there.
That's good. That's good. I'm thinking of just spelling my YouTube name as Prince PRYNCE Charles. And then people can pull it up.
If you spell it different, it works, because they wouldn't let me use girl on there until I put GIRRL. And then they let me put it, because I spelled it wrong. Because they wouldn't let me put just girl. They didn't like that word for some reason.
Yeah, see how they are?
So just spell it wrong, and it'll go through.
Exactly. Exactly. I know, isn't that crazy? But no, you're right. I'm having that kind of a problem, and it's hard to get my Facebook, so I have to respell it, and I have to do that.
Do you remember the Chambers Brothers? Do you remember the Chambers Brothers that did Time back in the day?
Oh,
totally. With the cowbell?
Totally. I'm in. Oh, totally.
Well, we're going to have Lester Chambers on in April. He just messaged me and said he wants to do the show. And we got Chris Wilson.
That is amazing.
We got Chris Wilson, the lead singer for the Flamer Groovies. Now, he's the only one I haven't interviewed of the Flamer Groovies, and he wants to do it next month, too.
Well,
so we've got
awesome.
some big shows. Oh, we got Mother Earth coming up next week. Mother Earth, Tracy Nelson, and Mother. Oh, I love her voice. What a beautiful voice she's got. She's coming
I know,
up
those
next
are all
week.
classic things. It's like no one knows what happened to those, and it's like, wow, what happened to all those classics?
Well, that's what the show is all about. It is a little biography of each one of all the people that people should know if they don't.
Right, exactly. I like that.
I thought I'd let you know something earlier. when you were talking about earth, fire, air, and water, I just had to bring this up. Did you know that Aristotle was the first one to name those?
Aristotle. Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Well, yeah, and that's what's recorded. But actually, people have been studying this astrology for 200, 300, thousands and thousands of years.
Right.
But these people that are in our history, like Aristotle and stuff like that, these are the people that were documented, because before that we had no documentation. You know, and it's like, yeah, that's amazing, though. That's amazing. But astrology has actually been going on for hundreds of thousands of years. The ancients, before they had any communication, any language, before they had any writing or anything, all they had, they were out at night and they had the stars to learn how to use these ancient traditions and different like astrology, numerology. That's all they had back then, and stuff like that. And it's all astrology is based on that earth, water, air, and fire thing. So, Aristotle, he was amazing. And I study a lot of those ancient traditions. So I borderline very much into Gnosticism. And I'm very much a Gnostic, even though, you know, I'm pagan and all this stuff. I'm very much a Gnostic, because Gnosticism is studying knowledge, and you got to study all these ancient traditions to learn to understand. And it fascinates me because it's all our history. It's where everything we have came from that. And so it's really interesting. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I just had to bring that up because I was just sitting here listening to the whole interview, and I was very, very pleased to know that you have this knowledge, because I'm into that myself, actually.
Yeah, a lot of these studies and ancient studies, when you learn how to study and understand them, a lot of times you can let go of the hang-ups that most people have in society that are worried about things that they don't really need to be worrying about. And you start thinking, well, I'm reincarnating. Well, once you have certainty of reincarnation, like I'm saying, you know, in Christendom they teach faith and stuff, and faith is all well, but it's nothing compared to certainty. Once you've studied this stuff, and you study other studies in other countries where they're studying reincarnation in hospitals and stuff like that, and you gain a certainty, which is certainty is beyond faith. You know what I'm saying? Way beyond faith. You can like going like, whoa, everything's not really such a big deal that we make such a big deal out of day to day. I'm just going to reincarnate and have to go through other experiences in another lifetime. And
I think the Beatles summed it all up with, all you need is love.
Love.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's nothing more powerful than love. There's
I'd like to thank you
in the world.
for being on my show tonight. We're almost out of time. So
okay. I mean, it was awesome talking to you, Girl Jobs. I really enjoyed it.
See you next time you come to the Bay Area.
We'll hook up. We'll hook up over at the
Missouri Lounge.
Missouri Lounge. That's it. Yeah. Okay. We'll be hooking up.
Okay, thank you for coming to the
dear.
Girl George and the Dragons radio show, and thank you for calling in.
Thank you very much.
And all come back next time. And
peace and love, and I'll see you as soon as I can. Bye-bye.
See you later. See you later, alligator.
All across the USA. such a